So I'm thinking that this company understands that I do not do so well when it comes to heat, because I get a lot of different emails about a lot of different products. Normally that's not something that I really try out, but this thing was of interest to me just because I do get very hot when I'm working outside. I don't really sweat a lot, so I'm kind of just roasting all the time when it gets to about 85 degrees. So today we're going to get to a heat index of around 100. I'm crossing my fingers that this is the last day of this extreme heat. I do need to be outside today working on some things, so I thought I would give this a shot. So what it is it's a wearable air conditioner. You may have seen some of these that have come out recently. They have these fans that line this thing, so when you turn this on, it blows air up on your face. But also, if you hold this button, the cooling element on the back. So there's a little cooling element on the back that sits on the back of your neck, and there's a bunch of nerves in the back of your neck that when that gets cooled down, it helps to cool your entire body down. So it actually feels kind of like there's a piece of ice on the back of your neck, or you put kind of a cold rag back there. So today I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to give this thing a test. Better get this thing charged so I can try and use it for more of the day. So today I'm a little bit behind. I should have been doing this a little earlier, but you know, I got a few things going on here and there. A couple things to catch you up on today, but today is going to be the start of the final lawn renovation that I complete at this house. At least, you know, you never know what's going to happen. Maybe I'll put down the wrong seed, or maybe something will happen to where I might need to do something else in the future. But for the most part, this looks to me like there's a couple different spots that I'm going to renovate this season. From then on, I don't really know when we're moving. We have no idea yet, but most likely there won't be any more full lawn renovations here at this property. So because of that historic event, I decided to wear this nasty old Vikings hat that was the original hat that I wore in so many of my videos. I still have it. It looks terrible, but for old time's sake, let's just use it today. Alright, so this is the product that I'm going to use. It's just generic, 41% glyphosate. Another thing that's always annoying to me is these labels that you have to always open up with this little stupid little sticky thing on there. So another thing I've been doing is writing just what the actual amount is that you need to put in here on the actual bottle, so I can just take a quick look at it and I see how much I need. The other thing that you want to make sure you do is have all your proper equipment. So I have long pants and long sleeves, long gloves here. These are chemical resistant, so in case you get anything on your hands, you're not going to get that on you. This sprayer is something, it's just a cheap like $20 hand sprayer. I do not use it for anything else, so I don't ever mix any other products into this sprayer. Now if you rinse it really well, if this were brand new and you rinsed it really well afterwards, I don't believe you'd have any problem. But for me, I just make sure I don't have any issues with anything that's going to kill any grass that I don't want to kill. So that's just what I do. And I got a little measuring cup that I took off like a Weed Be Gone container, and I also don't mix this with any other product, so this is specifically just for glyphosate. So I'm going to be using 2 gallons of water. Right on there is 2.5 ounces per gallon of water, and that's supposed to cover 1 gallon is supposed to cover 300 square feet at that rate. So really it doesn't go that far, but that's why I have a big bottle of this. Be able to get by, I think, with 2 gallons or pretty close to it. So I'm gonna go add some water to the sprayer first, and then I'll probably put in my lovely hated stuff that gets all over the place today, the laser blue, the blue dye, just to make sure I have everything covered that I want to cover and not hit anything else. So over here I want to make sure that I really protect all these flowers, so I'm going to use just a big piece of cardboard, and I will go along the edge of the border, shield all that stuff, make sure also it's not windy out when you're spraying, but it's an easy way to get your border, or if you're going up against a neighbor's yard or something, to just use a big piece of cardboard, put that down, and then spray next to it so you don't have any overspray. Alright, so now for the final section out here near the street. I was debating going back and forth if I was just going to cut out this sod, but kind of seeing where I'm at with where my sprinklers are at, they're kind of set for this level right now, and also to rent a machine just to do like a 300-400 square foot area doesn't really make a whole lot of sense when I'm kind of strapped for time right now in terms of what I'm doing here this fall and trying to get some test plots going out at the property, doing some shade testing out there, do this renovation that I just sprayed, and then of course this one right here. So I think what I'm going to do is spray this out today. I will be leveling this again with some sand. That was the other reason too, is that I already have a small little layer of sand here, so if I were to cut that out, it would just be kind of a waste that I already top dressed. I'm gonna go ahead and spray this out after it's brown. I will just scalp it as low as I possibly can with a reel mower. Put the sand on. I will be seeding my perennial ryegrass right here. I'll be able to kind of show that in this section, and I'll have rye in the front, rye right here. Should match a lot better. So same exact procedure on that. I'll spare you the spraying. You don't really need to see me doing that part, but same exact procedure, same rates, everything, so I just need to get that done. So a few updates here for those of you who haven't been following along in the last couple videos, but I did spray some broadleaf weeds, and I was a little concerned because I didn't really walk out my steps correctly and I sprayed it a little heavier than I wanted to. But today I want to show you one more update. This was about 10 days after or so, just kind of show you what happened after that, some of the things that it did affect and some of the things that it didn't affect. So overall, for the most part, it handled everything pretty well. We're also back to the stressful time. Like I told you, it's been heat index of 100 or just over for the last 3 days. In general, this would be stress just from that. Only thing that I'm seeing is that the grass kind of has sort of a wispy look to it. It's almost like it doesn't really want to grow that much, and it kind of is laying over now instead of wanting to stand up. So it got shocked a little bit from that herbicide, but the nice thing is we're going into renovation season for this as well. So usually I will come in, dethatch this just to remove any of the dead stuff, not really dethatching, but cleaning out that dead stuff from whatever happened to die off in summer. Some of this definitely does die off, but for the most part, everything looks pretty good. Also, for those of you who are following along with me fixing some dog spots by removing some plugs and putting them over here, you really can't tell where they were. For the most part, those transplanted really well. Also, this spot back here that I actually put seed to just kind of show the difference, I got germination on that in 2 days, and now it is definitely not full by any means, but I do have some grass growing in there. I probably needed just a slight bit more seed too, but I can fix that in the renovation part. Also, as I mentioned, you know, when you're going to take that dead spot, you're going to move it somewhere else, you're not going to notice it too much, and you'll see how there's not any grass really growing into this spot. We're not talking about bluegrass where it's going to spread into it, but this dead material is going to continue to come off. What's going to happen is this will tiller out more since it has some space, and a lot of times this is just going to cover this like that, and you're really not going to notice it. So if you got a small spot that you need to fix, even with ryegrass or something that's not going to spread, I would not hesitate to fix a spot, especially since it was up by close to the driveway where it's going to be much more visible. Put this over on the edge of the yard and you're really not going to notice it. So now a couple different exciting items to tell you about, and a couple of special things going on just for you guys who are watching these videos. So one, my brand Lawn Supply Company has a brand new granular fertilizer out. So this is called GrowORR and is for any grass type, but specifically for the Midwest region or some areas that have a little higher pH soil. We have ammonium sulfate in there, sulfate of potash, and a form of iron that, as far as I know right now, has not been in any other turf fertilizer to this point. That university studies have shown that this form of iron is one that works in a little bit higher pH soils and is really the only form of iron that will be used by the grass in those higher pH soils. So also we have some peptides, amino acids thrown into this for some root development and some things that are going to help to fight off all that stress that we experience throughout the year with cool season grass. So again, any grass type can use this, but it's definitely going to work very well Midwest region and kind of where I'm at, or any of those areas that have a little higher pH soil as well. So that is out today basically. Unfortunately for the West Coast right now, we're not able to ship it out there, but we're working on that stuff. So for the future, right now, definitely check that out if you're looking for something this fall. I'm going to be using it out on my fescue this fall. Remember that the fall time, especially for cool season grass, is when you want to do most of your fertilizing and get things ready for the next spring. The other exciting thing to tell you about is that we're running a special for seeding on my Lawn Supply Equalizer and on the Vigor product. Both of these are going to be a great product for seeding. So if you want to get down more of a liquid starter fertilizer, the Vigor is going to work, or you can use Equalizer. But also after that, for those of you who've been watching for a while, you know I like to do a spoon feeding program on my new lawns. So that's about every 2 weeks you're applying a smaller dose of fertilizer. Something like Equalizer is going to be perfect for that, or you can also continue to go with Vigor. But Equalizer, a very affordable product that comes in a soluble form so that you can mix it yourself, and it goes a lot farther. So we're doing 10% off of Equalizer and Vigor right now for all of your fall seeding work. Finally, one more thing that I decided to do for you guys as well is if you are interested in my renovation guide, I'm running a sale on that right now for $20. That's the lowest price that we've ever had on that to get prepared for the renovation season. So grab that right now. I'll do that for the next 3 days after this video comes out, and I'll have a link in the description and also let you know when that sale ends. So $20 on the renovation guide. It is a hot one for sure. So verdict on this thing for me in my one-time limited use review would be that you definitely can notice a difference, especially with the fan, especially if you're in an environment where there wasn't a lot of breeze. And you also definitely can feel the back. Now, how much can you quantify that it cools you down? I really don't know how to tell. I mean, definitely you can feel it. Similar though to when you put on like an ice pack, your skin will also kind of get used to that a little bit too. But I noticed when I took it off that I did notice a difference in terms of the cooling. But like I said, how to quantify, I don't know. So that was just kind of a fun experiment. They wanted me to try it in a lawn care setting. Didn't have anybody that had tried that yet. When I was out there mowing, I did have the fan on me and I did have the back going, and I felt like it kept me a little bit cooler. They also sent me one to give away. So for those of you who watched my last video, which was part 1 of the Oregon grass seed trip that I did, a lot of info in that thing. I know it was a little bit longer, and I know some of you might not be into all that technical stuff, but I think you might be fascinated by just the information and what it takes to actually create a really high-end grass seed. So check that out. But we're gonna take one of the comments from that video and give away one of these. Get the comments. So there's 99 comments. And we're going to pick the winner. So the winner is Greg Vreeland. Says, wow, great information. There's a lot of factors going into the grass seed production. Absolutely. So Greg, send me an email, ryannorlawncare@gmail.com. I will get this thing sent to you. Thanks for watching. I want to thank everybody else for watching as well. I'm going to start prepping for my seed plots out at the new property hopefully tomorrow. So that's going to be kind of knocking down what's there, starting to prepare so that we can get some seed going yet this fall. So stay tuned for all of that stuff. A lot more coming this fall. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.